Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, hit the like button, but let's go ahead with today's video. Look, the X100V, we all know it's the ultimate street camera. It's also the perfect camera to take with you with your family, capture your memories, but I wanted to test this camera and see what I can do for portrait photography. I am primarily a videographer, but I did start my career with photography. And ever since then, when I kind of evolved now into a filmmaker and 98% of my work is just videography now, I kind of like lost the passion. I lost the desire to want to go out and take photos. And so until I actually purchased this camera for my family. And once I picked it up, it kind of revived that feeling of just wanting to take photos and not feel like work because I only shot JPEGs. I use a film recipe and it just did the rest. And I love that. Ease of use, transfer it with Wi-Fi, the image that I wanted, post it on Instagram and share my memories. However, I wanted to test this camera out and I just wanted to see what it can do for photography. And you never know that I may have this camera with me and I want to get a professional quality shot for a portrait, let's say. So I want to see what it can actually do and what the raw files can do. So first thing to say is that the time and condition when we went out to shoot was not optimal. It was around 9:30 in the morning, and here in Florida it gets extremely hot by that point. Humidity is awful. But I had two great friends that wanted to join me, and John is getting the behind the scenes footage, and Alyssa was our model. She did a great job, and honestly, with the heat that you guys can hopefully see through the behind the scenes video, it was hot, but we had a lot of fun. The X100V shares the same sensor as the X-T4, so we know image quality is going to be amazing, but it's also combining the features with image quality and to see how the experience is as, to take photos. So for me, primarily, I'm used to using a 56 millimeter f1.2, so that's more like a 85 in full frame equivalency, and so having that 23 just made it really wide. It was a challenge in itself because I'm just not used to shooting wide photos. So I had to get up even closer to the model, which sometimes it can feel awkward because I'm a large guy. I'm about 6'4", and so coming up to the model, I don't want to feel like I'm overpowering her or overcoming over her. So I like to have that distance. And so, what I did do in camera, I used the clear image zoom, which you can do when you're in single shooting mode. And I went to a 50 and then also to a 70. Now the JPEG, so you guys can see here, are those modes, getting close in and zoomed in, and it's cropping into the sensor, or into the image in itself, and it's still sharp. It's still quality image I can put out, especially in JPEG. Now, if you're shooting in RAW and you're using these modes, when you go into Lightroom, actually, it goes back to normal. So unfortunately, it's not like a Leica where it's gonna save where it's at, and when you can, go ahead and change the crop factor, in Lightroom. So unfortunately, you have to do it manually in Lightroom. So just take note of that if you're shooting RAWs. Now, throughout the day, I was really impressed with the dynamic range, especially on the highlights. Her skin tones look great. I love the recipe that I was using. And then for my edits, I actually went with a retro kind of looking style. And I was impressed with how sharp the images look, especially all the images were shot at f2. And I was impressed. This lens is a lot better than the X100F. And I had that camera before. And sharpness is in another level with the X100V. I like the sharpness. I rather not have softness. So if I want to have anything soft, I can add a Pro Mist filter to get some, softness in the skin tones or in the highlights. And overall, the camera really exceeded my expectations. I wouldn't use it for a professional shoot because I just don't like the focal lengths. I like to have more of a 1.2 shallow depth of field, and I still prefer interchangeable camera. So I'll be using my X-T4 or my X-T3 when I need to shoot professionally. But if I need to capture, let's say, establishing shots of a venue, by chance their client wants something just a wider angle, then I can use this camera and trust the image quality is going to be great. And overall, I just think that this camera, the X100V, is really meant to be a camera that's a companion. You're able to capture the moments and elements that's around you, and not necessarily like a portrait. I mean, you can use it, but not in a professional environment where you're in like a fast pace and you need a whole bunch, because it's not what's designed for. It's designed to allow you to capture the image that you want to capture. You want to take your time. You want to be able to compose, and you also just want to be able to make sure that it's an enjoyable experience. And when it comes to work, you want something that's going to be faster, autofocus, that's meant for it. And you don't want to baby the camera. I like to baby my X100V because that's just how I am with this camera. I love it. It's my favorite camera of all time. Anytime I meet anybody, I tell them, hey, look, like, I have all these other cameras, a C70, XC4, XC3, my drones and blah, blah, blah. But the X100V is my baby. It's the camera that's capturing all my memories with my family. And yeah, I can keep rambling on, but I'm not going to do that to you guys. Would I recommend this for portrait photography? No. Unless you have a specific style of only shooting JPEG and you just like to carry something small, then yes. But it's not a one size fits all. You kind of have to be in a certain niche and love to shoot within the experience of using the camera. I do, and I use it for family and not for work because I don't like to think of work when I'm with my family. And so it's the ultimate family camera for me. But I hope you guys found this video enjoyable and valuable. But if you want to see more of this, leave a comment down below. Let me know what topic you want me to talk about. But until then, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.